Hey everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer and welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I am going to be playing a game called Call to Adventure. This is the Epic Origins version. There's one just called Call to Adventure, that was the first one. Then there's Epic Origins. There's a couple more. There's one based on Sanderson's World, I believe. I can't remember that for sure, but I think there is. But I'm going to be playing Epic Origins. The rules are pretty close across the games. There are some variations, but I'll be going over this game as I play. So what this game is, I really like the premise of this game. You know, for those of us who play RPGs, especially fantasy RPGs, you know, there's that whole point of like playing the game to like build your character up from a level 1 up to a heroic adventurer. And this game sort of follows that concept. You're going to start out with this like very basic hero, and then you're going to go on a quest and ultimately fight the big bad guy and then hopefully win and be a legend, right? So the way this starts is there are 4 decks here. You'll notice the symbol. It's like an acorn, a little sapling, a bigger tree, and then a much bigger tree. So what you do is you're going to get one of these at random and then 2 of these at random, and you get to pick out of these 3 which one you want. This one is called your heritage, I believe. I'll double check that in just a second. Each one of them has a name. Heritage is kind of where you came from. So is that right? Hold on. No, sorry. This is not heritage. This is actually your race, which I do believe is still called heritage. Yeah. So this is the heritage deck. You just shuffle it and you pick one, put it face down. This right here is called the Origins. That's what this is. This is sort of like the background of your character. It's not the class. That's this deck. But this one's sort of like the background. So I'll draw 2 for that. And then for this one, this is your class. I'll draw, and there's like fighter, druid, cleric. There's all the standard ones. There's a few in there that are kind of unique to the game. But this is the one where it will define your class. Now, I'm going to be playing this game solo, which is typical of me. But if you're playing against an opponent or cooperatively, you can play this game against an opponent or cooperatively. I think you can have up to 4 players. I think that's right. Ultimately, though, your goal at the end of the game is to defeat the major adversary. The winner will be a total number of points that your character develops as they go, and those points are added up, and then at the end, if you defeat the adversary, all players add up their points. Whoever has the highest point count wins. So let's go ahead and see what I got here. So I got human. All right. I got ghost and mercenary. Let's go mercenary. That sounds fun. I didn't pick one for this. Let's put that down. Actually, I got 2. For this, I got druid and rogue as my class. Let's do fighting, and let's do this one. And I'll explain why I'm picking some of these. These are your runes. These are the dice of the game, and they have symbols on them. Each one of these symbols represents like strength, constitution, dexterity, your standard tropes. And my mercenary, he's using this one, the sword, and this one, which I think is dexterity. These are his 2 primary traits. The rogue will allow me to level up, and I can get a bonus for this particular one. So that's why I chose the rogue. And then let's look at now the destiny card. This is the destiny, the last one. You're supposed to keep this one face down if you're playing with an opponent, because the destiny card is kind of like what you're building your character toward. It's a secret that you know and no one else. You keep it face down until the 3rd act of this game. And but it's sort of a way to get extra points at the end of the game if you've made your way towards your destiny. So I have favored soul or tragic hero. I'm going to choose tragic hero. So my mercenary is a rogue. He's going to become a hero, but he's going to become a tragic hero. And so now that I have defined them, let me explain what else you're seeing here. This is the hero deck, the light color one here, and this dark one is the anti-hero deck. Now, it doesn't mean, if you're pulling from the anti-hero, it doesn't mean you're necessarily evil, but in this game, you can move from like lawful to unlawful. That's this track right here. It starts sort of in the middle. Right now it's worth 2 points at the end of the game if this stays here. But as you do good things, this might move up and you'll get more points. And as you do not so good things, it'll move down and you'll lose points. Well, you lose points at a certain point. You can still be an anti-hero and get points. But what happens is where this icon is will tell you what kind of cards that you're allowed to play. So if you're really, really good, you can't play dark cards. And if you're bad, you can't play the light cards. So you want to float in the middle until you sort of figure out where you want to be and then go. But the game really does penalize you if you are too evil, too far down the track. All right. As I mentioned, there are 3 acts in this game. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. At any one time, because I'm playing solo, I'm only going to put the Act 1 out right now. In order to move to Act 2, my character, now just look at this. This is this says I'm human, but these are the 3 parts of the game, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, that I'm going to be affecting. So right now for the mercenary, I'm in Act 1. I need to get 3 cards put under this card before I can move on to Act 2. 3 cards under here before I can move on to Act 3. 3 cards under here before I can go and attack the big adversary. So what you do is you shuffle the Act 1. Now if you're playing with more than one player, you'll go ahead and put out Act 2 and Act 3 after shuffling them, but those cards will be dealt out face down. And the number of cards you deal out depends upon how many players. For a 1 to 3 player game, which I'm playing solo, I'll put out 4 of these. So what I'll do is I'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the instructions it tells you to go long ways here and then do Act 2 and then Act 3. But again, I'm playing solo, so I only need to see these 4. And I do apologize for the glare. I have done my best to cut the light down in my workshop, but unfortunately there is just one column here that is under glare, and I'll try to read those when I get to them. Try to remember to do that. All right, last, every hero starts with 3 XP. These red things are the XP that your character has, and you can use those to level up your class, which means you might be able to do more damage or do other cool stuff. You can also spend the XP in certain ways, and I'll get to that. What else? You start with 1 hero card. So I've already shuffled these, but I'll go ahead and shuffle them again just so you can see. You shuffle all the cards. It's so funny. I always shuffle the cards before I start recording, but I always feel the need to shuffle in front of you, like you won't believe me if that I've set up the deck a certain way. But anyway, it's just a habit. I'm used to, even though I shuffle before the game starts, before I even start recording, I'll frequently shuffle again just to prove to you that I'm not cheating. So anyway, this is done, and every person starts with 1 hero card, and you don't have to reveal these. I'm going to reveal it. Protection from evil. Now, if I don't play this card at the end of the game, if this is still in my hand, it's worth 1 point. But if I play it, it goes into the discard and I lose that. But it says you may play this in response to a card from the adversary's deck, ignoring its effects. So let's talk about the adversary. In this game, the Epic Origins, it comes with 7 envelopes. Now, you can just play the game against any old evil bad guy that you want, but this is the campaign, and there are 3, where's number 2? There it is. There are 7 envelopes that you open in order. So I've opened up number 1, and what it does is inside the card are some extra classes or extra races and things like that, so you can go ahead and add them in when that envelope becomes available. So I've already added in the 2 here, and I don't remember what they were. But it also comes with the adversary. It comes with the adversary, a 2-sided card. On one side is what's called the adversary. On the other side is the final adversary. The game will start with you going up against the adversary. It's kind of like a henchman. You want to do as much damage to the henchman before this thing flips, because any health or XP that it has left over carries over to the bad guy. And then you have this card called the Adversary Quest. This tells you the rules for how the adversary will fight against you. There is a Dark Lord's Call card. You'll notice the back of it. These are standard. These are the adversary deck right here. You have a set standard, but then you have one that's special to the adversary. And so you shuffle it in and just set this aside. These cards are pulled at certain times when certain things happen, and we'll get to that. All right, I think we are ready to go. I've got my card, got that set, like this, my runes. Okay, one thing, the runes. There are, this is not one of the ones I need. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there are 3 runes that are called the core or basic runes. On one side, on 2 of them, there's a blank and a 1 strike. These are successes. They count as 1 point. Those are 0, fail. This one on one side has a strike, but on the other side it has this double symbol, like an up, down, a white arrow pointing up, a black arrow pointing down, or vice versa. This one, when you roll it, it will trigger something on your race, on your card here, but it will also trigger something on the adversary card. You always have to roll this, so there's always a chance this side's going to come up. But if it doesn't, you get a success automatically. That is not a success. That is a special event. And then in addition to these, you roll these like dice. You just shake them up and you drop them. In addition to these, you'll be rolling colored runes that the number of these and the color is determined by what you get on these cards that you'll be taking to your character. Now, as I mentioned, the mercenary starts out with 2. He starts out with one of these and one of the swords, which is one of the ones I have here. So whenever I attempt to do something, if those symbols are here on the left side, and I'll show this to you in a minute, I can throw those runes into my hand, and I can throw a number of them equal to how many of that symbol I have under my cards here. So let me explain how this works. Under Act 1, there are 2 types of cards in Act 1. There are trait cards, which you just pick up and put them under your this first card right here, and they usually provide you just another rune type that you can roll, or you can match it to one you already have, and that means now you're rolling 2 of that particular rune. The trait cards only have, they're like this. They only have this bar across the top. And it has the symbol that you gain, and it also has some special ability when you pick it up. These are useful. But the other card is called a challenge card, and this is a challenge card. It's called Concealed Vault. The first option is pick a lock. Sorry, I don't know if that's going to auto-effect it. Pick a lock or find hidden riches. One on top, one on bottom. If I attempt to do the top one, what I'm basically trying to do is roll the dice, roll the runes, and I can use either one of these combinations if I have it. If I don't have it, there's no point in rolling the runes because I'm probably not going to be successful. And what I'm trying to do is hit this target number. This one is 3. So if I roll any combination of these 2 runes plus the core runes, I need 3 successes, 3 strikes to win this one. I put this under my card, and I put it where this bar is visible at the top, and I gain that rune. But I can also attempt the more difficult one at the bottom. It automatically adds a modifier to the difficulty, in this case +1, so this becomes a 4. And it also gives me a rune if I succeed at it, but it often lets me draw one of the hero cards. Or there might be another reward here. Now, strategy-wise, I haven't played this game too much, so I'm not really up on all the super strategies, but what you want to do is you want to look at the adversary and figure out how you attack the adversary and start building towards that. In this case, the adversary uses 2 symbols to fight it. It uses this up, it looks like a V, and then it also looks like an M, and these correspond to runes. Well, right now, I have nothing that matches those runes. So in order to defeat this adversary, I'm going to have to start looking for cards that are going to give me these symbols. Well, unfortunately, These two do not. Yeah, they don't. This one gives me a sword, which isn't really helpful. And this one does. This is a trait card called Tough. It does give me the V symbol. You'll notice I don't have to roll for it. I just pick it up. And it says, when you gain this, gain 1 XP if you have at least one of this symbol. Well, I do have one of that symbol. So I get this, I get an extra XP, and I put this under my mercenary with that symbol visible. And that is, on your first turn, you either do a trait or a challenge. You don't get a choice. You have to do one. So if there are no traits out, you have to do a challenge. Now that's not completely true because there is a way to reset these cards. If you don't see something on here that is going to be possible for you or useful to you, you can choose to do what's called a journey. You spend an XP point and you pick one card, you discard it, and you replace it. And that's how you can refresh some of these cards. Obviously doing that steals away from your XP. What do you care? Because your XP, as I mentioned, is how you level up your class. When you put XP on the card, it cannot be removed. So once you put XP on it, when I put 2, I get +1 on all attempts with that symbol. If I have 4, I get +1 with the wand symbol, and since I have 2, I also get this, so it stacks. And then 6, if I add a mask to your story, gain an anti-card. Well, what is the mask? Okay, some of these cards have special symbols on them. None of these do right now. They're called story emblems or story icons. And at the end of the game, if you have 2 of a particular icon on any combination of cards, you get bonus points. I think you get 2. If you have 3 of that icon, you get 4 points. And I think if you have 4, you get 6 or 8. I can't recall. So remember, this is all about points. Not only do you have to defeat the boss, but if you do defeat the boss, you may still not be the ultimate winner because you may not have enough points to defeat your opponent. If you're playing solo like I am, you're really playing against yourself. So what I will do is when I finish this game, if I win, I'll write down the number of points I made, and then the next time I play, I want to try to beat that. I want to try to get more points. So let's go ahead. I already did my first turn. I did not have to roll any runes, so the adversary does not do anything this turn. And so now it's my second turn. Well, I did do a parties only survivor. This is a challenge right here. It's got 1 on the bottom, 1 at the top. So it requires a sword or the V symbol. Well, I have both. I have that symbol. I have the V because I just did the tough, which gives me one of these right here. I get one of those added to the core 3 runes. I also have a sword, so I get to add 1 sword rune, and I have a total of 5 runes. 5 to get a score of 4. Well, this one, you know what? Being that it's my first game, I'm not really worried about score. I want to win. So I'd rather go for the one I have the most symbols. I'm going to go for this one because then I'll have 2 of that symbol. Once you get 3 of a symbol, you get a 3rd special rune, which has one of the sides gives you 3 successes, but the flip side, if you get 0 successes, but the symbol allows you to do something else, and we'll probably get to that. So I'm going to roll 5. Now, there's one other type of rune in this game. It's called a dark rune. On one side, it has a single success, and on the other side, it has a moon. This counts as 2 successes. But because it's a moon, you have to lower your corruption down 1 for every moon you roll. So again, if you're trying to make a happy, lawful character and you want to get the maximum amount of points, you want to try to avoid that. Because the most points you can get if you go all the way up to the highest corruption or non-corruption is 8 points. If you go down to 1 moon, you only get 2 at the end of the game. If you're at 4, if you're at this moon, you get 4 points. But then if you drop 1 more, you're at 0. And if you go all the way to the bottom, you lose 4 points. And also, I want you to notice when you drop to the bottom 3 on the corruption, you are required, you can only play dark cards. You can never play the light cards if you have any in your hand, and I just so happen to have one. So if I was way down here and I wanted to play this, I couldn't do it. Okay, so I'm not messing with the dark runes right now. So I've got 5 runes and I'm trying for 3 successes. So I'm going to roll right here. I think you'll be able to see. Ooh, nice. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let me give you a bit of advice here. After you roll the runes, don't mess with them because you may need to remember, sometimes it's hard to remember the numbers. Also, when you start attacking the adversary or the dark adversary, you're going to want to be able to track these because you're going to start playing a lot of cards and a lot of things, and the numbers are going to, you're going to have modifiers, pluses and minuses, so always try to remember what you kept. So I rolled 5, so I was successful, so I do get Party's Only Survivor, which gives me another one of these symbols. I put this under here. Now, it doesn't give me anything successful, like I don't get to pull another card or anything like that. And the main reason being is I haven't rolled that one yet. When I roll that symbol, you always look at 2 cards. You look at your initial heritage card. If I roll that, I can gain one of these, okay? Now, I can gain them. This determines what I can play. So I can always pick one or the other, but my track will tell me which ones I can play. Or, if instead of getting a card, I can gain an XP. But I want to show you. Over on the Dark Adversary, it's right here. The Adversary starts with 5 XP, and this is sort of its health. To defeat it, you have to get rid of all the XP. Now, that's really only on the Dark Adversary. For the regular adversary, you can kill it, or you can remove it all, but you just want to whittle it down as much as possible. Now, this says, when you roll that symbol, it says, play a card from the adversary deck. So if I roll that symbol, I have to pull one of these cards, and these are usually not good. So, and you remember, you always have to roll the core runes. You can't leave them out. So there is always going to be a chance you roll that symbol. All right, so I got 5. And that is the end of the turn. There's nothing else I can do. So I can put these runes back over here. And typically what I've been doing is I place the runes above the cards to let me know that I've got access to those. I also have one of these. And actually I flip them over so I can see the symbol. And this one says 2, so I'm going to place a second one right here. So those are the runes that I have access to through my through the cards I have so far. All right, I have one more card to get before I have to advance to Act 2. All right, I pulled off. All right, so my options are Pick a Lock, Stealthy, Athletic, or Fight Off Sewer Rats. None of these are helpful to me because none of them are giving me symbols that I really need to hurt the adversary. With the exception, Athletic does give me another sword, but it says when you gain this, gain an XP if you have at least one of the views, which I do. So I would gain an XP and I would gain another sword, but the swords really aren't going to help me when it comes time to fight. So I'm thinking that I may pay an XP to do a journey, and yeah, when you face the adversary for each point. Okay, I want to see if I can find another card. I hate to do this. Oh, you know what? None of my rogue abilities are going to help me with these symbols. Okay, so I'm not putting XP on this card because the symbols it's going to give me are not working towards defeating this. So I'm going to spend an XP, and I'm going to do a journey. You can do this, I think you can only do this once per turn. Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure the journey is only once per turn. Sorry, I want to confirm that because that could be critical. Journey on your turn. During your turn, you may journey. At the start of your turn, you may pay a diamond to discard and replace a story card. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's only once. You can do it at the start of your turn. So this is the start of my turn. So I paid the one, and I'm going to get rid of fight off the sewer rats. And I'm going to replace it. And I got perceptive, which again does not give me anything that's going to help me. So unfortunately, I have to do a trait or I have to draft a trait or attempt a challenge. So here's where I'm going to have to attempt a challenge whether I want to or not. So I could avoid it by taking this trait, and that will allow me to move to Act 2. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll get the sword. I don't really want it, but there might be some cards coming up where I need that sword, which I think is the strength one, and I get another one. So now I have 2 swords, so I get the second one, and I get to add it here. So those are my runes. You can't do this if you're playing multiplayer because the runes have to be shared, but if you're playing solo, you can always set the runes you have right here to remind you what you have. All right, so there's no need to reveal a third one here because I am now done with Act 1. This flips over. I did not have to roll the cards that time. So Act 1 is done. I can set these cards aside. Now we bring in Act 2. Again, I will shuffle them up and deal out 4. So I've got 1. Now, what you're doing is as you move acts, the challenges are going to get more difficult. The target number is getting higher, but you're also going to get more cool rewards, and you're working on your class now. So a lot of these are going to be things that you want to look for that your class would be good to do because the game is going to gel. You're going to start matching up for story points or icons, and you're going to start matching rune skills and things like that. So I got Treasure Hunter, Folk Hero. This is a trait. This is a trait. I got Gladiator, which is a trait, and Guard a Sacred Item, which is a challenge. So far, I've done pretty good because I've avoided having to roll dice. But remember, a trait, you're not getting as much fun stuff as you do if you do a challenge. So maybe I want to look at the challenge. The only challenge here is Steal a Relic. Well, I am a rogue, and it does use sword and this symbol. So I would get 2, 3, I would get to roll 6 runes, but it's +1, and that would bring the difficulty up to a 5. That's not a bad one, but what else do I have? All right, so I'm just looking. This one, the Folk Hero, has another one of these symbols, so that would get me to a 3rd and final rune. I'm going to do this. So the Folk Hero, I get the 3rd one of these, which, if you'll remember, is a really good one because it now adds a 3rd point. It's if I roll on this side, I get 3 successes. So I've got all 3 of these runes now. I gain that, and it says when you gain this, you gain a light. So I move this up, and it's now giving me 4 points. But I can only play the light hero cards now. But that's okay. If I wanted to change that, I could look for things that'll lower that. I'm not going to do that right now. All right, let's see. And I got to remember, this is a light card, so I still can play it. Play in the response to a card from the adversary deck. Well, so far I haven't had to deal with one of these cards yet because I've been doing traits. But let's go ahead and replace it. And it didn't give me any bonuses there. You begin the game with an extra... Oh, you know what? I never did this. You begin the game with an extra dark card. You can play blank or blank cards regardless of your position on the corruption track. Read your text on your cards. I didn't even read it. I read this one, but I didn't read this one. You begin the game with an extra dark card. So I get an extra dark. You can play either type of card regardless of where you are, and that's the Mercenary. So this is a bitter experience. Again, it's worth 1 point if I don't play this card, if it's still in my hand at the end of the game.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.
All right, so bitter experience. It says gain an experience for each diamond path in your story. The diamond points are the negative, and the white points are more for the positive. But your total score at the end, you'll add white diamonds and black diamonds. It doesn't matter. But right now, if I wanted more experience, it says I can get one experience for each diamond. Well, I don't have any. I do have it on my tragic hero, but remember, this card is supposed to be placed face down. I don't believe it counts right now. So I'm going to hold on to that card. And now it is again my turn. What did I do? I revealed Gladiator, I think. No, I revealed Freedom Fighter. All right, the Freedom Fighter, ooh, when you gain this, move this up 2. So I could max this out, and it gives me 8 points. But remember, my destiny is Tragic Hero. And it says, at the end of the game, I will lose 1 point, 1 diamond point for each white path in your story. Well, this one gives me a white diamond. So by choosing the Freedom Fighter option, it might move me up, but I'm going to lose a point because I chose that, because my Tragic Hero is supposed to he's not supposed to be really maxed out. I can also gain 1 black diamond for each of these symbols. So right now I've got 3 of those. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. If it was lose 4 points, I would say it's not worth doing this. But if I'm only going to lose 1 point, I'd rather go to 8 and get 7 rather than stay at 4 and get 3. So I am going to choose this trait. Man, all I've done is choose traits this turn. I'm going to choose this trait. It gives me 2 points. But remember, it's a white diamond, so this is going to cause that to be really only 1 point. But I'm okay with that. And now I have 8 points on this track. All right, replace it. I haven't had to roll. I've only had to do 1 challenge. Now, if you're playing with other players, you're going to be doing challenges a lot more than traits, because they're going to be cycling out cards, and there's going to be things popping up that you just absolutely have to have. So the mechanics and the dynamics of the game are a little different when you're playing solo. All right, so let's see. I got Find the Lost Mine, which gives me a symbol I don't care about. That symbol I don't care about. No, no, no. None of these symbols are going to help me defeat the adversary. So, it's the beginning of my turn. I will pay 1, oops, to remove a card. I'm going to remove, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to, when you gain this, gain it if you added, I'm going to get rid of the Gladiator. All right, so he's gone. And there we go. All right. Now, this gives me another one of these symbols, but you can never have more than 3. But because I have 3, I'm more likely to be able to hit the success number. So I'm going to do the +1, the harder one, because if I succeed, I get this symbol, which really isn't going to help me, but I get to draw another dark card, and I get 1 black diamond point. So yes, for this one, I'm going to do this challenge. So I get the 3 cores right here. I get all of these, 1, 2, 3, and I get all of these, which is just the 1. Is that right? Yep. So I'm rolling 7 runes, no dark runes. Although you know what? I'll take those 8 points. I don't want to risk that. I'm rolling this, and I'm trying to beat 4 + 1. I'm trying to beat 5. Oh, look up. Oh, okay, there we go. So I did get it. I got 1, 2, 3. This counts as 2, 4, 5. This counts as 6, 7, 8. So 8 points. Now remember, don't mess with this, because once you start doing with the adversary, you're going to need to remember how many points. So I got 8 points, which means, and I got a blank. That doesn't help. So I did do I was doing this one, right? Yeah, I was doing this one, which is recover stolen goods. I put it under here. It goes on the bottom because it's a challenge. It gives me 1 of these symbols. Let me get that. Where is it? Gives me the diamond. Oh, look at that. I get an extra one. Okay, here it is. I got that one, It gives me that one as a bonus. And I get to draw one of these cards. Expertise, worth 1 point. Play this as any hero attempts a challenge. They gain +1 to the attempt. If their class card has 5 or more experience, which mine doesn't, they gain +2. Okay. All right. Okay, so I want you to remember, I have this card that says, play this in response to a card from the adversary's deck. Ignore its effects. That one could come in handy. So why am I telling you? Because I rolled this symbol. This symbol on my human card says I can gain one of these or I can gain an XP. Well, I'm doing okay on XP for right now. So I'd rather draw one of these cards that's going to hopefully give me some bonus. I have 2 darks, which unfortunately, you know what? I can't play them. I can't play these because I'm so far up. But I can play this one. So that tells me I'm going to pick one of these because otherwise I wouldn't be able to play it. Teamwork, worth 1 point. Choose a hero attempting a sword, wand, or this symbol. If it is your turn, gain +1 on your attempt. If it is another hero's, gain +2. This would be more helpful with if you're playing cooperatively, but if you're playing versus an opponent, you don't really want to give them any advantages. So I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to flip these over because right now I cannot play them. Now I can discard them. If a card called for me to discard hero cards, I could discard these, but I can't play them. All right, so knowing that, all right, then because I rolled this, I need to go over here to the adversary. So, when a hero gains the sun, it would get these. Here's what I've been forgetting to do. When a hero gains sun, they lose. I went 1, 2, so 2 of these are going away. So that automatically helps me. I forgot to do that. Now, it says gain +2 to attempt this if you have at least 2 traits. Well, I do have a lot of traits, so I'm not worried about that. But this is the card I want to look at. It says play a card from the adversary deck. I didn't fail a challenge, so I don't have to add any XP. So I draw this card, and if I don't like this card, I can cancel it with this protection from evil. Prisoner in peril. Reveal this as a hero attempts a challenge. Well, I just did a challenge. Okay, so this goes with this turn. That's why I tell you to leave your numbers out. Reveal this as a hero attempts a challenge. If they fail, the adversary gains an additional XP. Well, I did not fail, so this goes into the discard, and I don't have to use my protection from evil this turn. I'm going to hold on to it because I might have to if I ever roll this and I get a really nasty card. All right, I get to replace this. It is now the start of the turn. There's nothing else going on, so I can put my runes back where they go. These go up here, just to remind me of what I have. And at any time, what you should do is count your rune symbols and make sure you have that many. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yes, I've got the right number of runes out. Again, that's if you're playing solo. All right, my turn. I've got one more card to put under. Oh no, that is 3. That was my third and final. Yes, I did. I did the Freedom Fighter. That's right. So that was my third and final turn for Act 2. So these go away, and the Act 3 cards come out. But before you can attempt anything in Act 2, you have to take on the adversary. This is your chance to basically whittle down the health that the final adversary will start with. So right now, the adversary only has 3. If I could get that down to like, I don't know, 1 or even 0, that would be great. Now the adversary will gain health, and you'll see when we get there, he'll gain health, or it will gain health. But for right now, I'm not too worried about it. So let me reveal these. 1, 2, 3. I probably didn't need to reveal these right now because I do need to take on the Dark Lord. Okay, so you've seen how I take on a challenge using the runes. You treat the adversary like it's a challenge. The adversary has symbols on it that you can use those runes, and it has a difficulty number. In this case, it's 6. All right. Now, it has 3 XP on it. Every time I do 6 or more success points on a runes roll, if I do 6, I remove 1 of these. And then for each point over that number, I remove an extra XP. So if I roll an 8, I could get rid of all 3 of these. So so let's see what I get. I get the 3 core, I get all 3 of these, and I don't have any of the mountain ones. So I've got 6 of these. Now, here's the deal. I could spend these XP. You can spend up to 3 XP to add up to 3 dark runes. Why does that matter? Well, if I've got 8 points, but remember, I'm getting penalized for lose 1 black point for every 1 for each path in your story, gain 1 for. So if you're going for score, I'm thinking I better just leave it alone. I could roll 3 and hope for some moons to lower this back down so I could play both good and bad cards, hero and anti-hero, but I think I'm going to stay. I'm going to roll these 6, and I'm hoping to get 8. Now remember, one of these will give me 3 off the bat. Oh, hold on. Teamwork. Choose a hero attempting a... Oh, no, can't use it. Never mind. So none of those symbols are being used. All right. And none of these are going to help me. Well, expertise could, but I can't play it. It would give me +1 on my roll. Yeah, I can't do it. All right, let's roll. Ooh, not good. I only got a 3, and that is a fail. That's the success. That is a fail. It does have a white diamond. So if I look on my cheat sheet here, my board, if I ever roll a rune like that and it comes up with a white diamond, I get to draw a hero card. I got Finest Hour, 1 point. Play this as any hero is attempting a challenge. Now, I'm not doing a challenge. I'm doing the adversary. I treat it the same way in terms of rolling, but the adversary is the adversary, not a challenge. Play this as any hero is attempting a challenge. Give them +1 to attempt a white diamond or +2 to face the adversary. Ooh, now, hold on. I could play this Play this as any hero's attempt. Give them +1 to attempt or +2 to face the adversary. So I guess I'm wrong. So I guess it does view the adversary as a challenge. You're doing a challenge roll. You are, because it says a challenge roll is when you're matching up your runes. So unfortunately, this only gives me 3 + 2 would be 5. I still wouldn't make it, but do I have anything that's going to give me a +1? Nothing. Okay, so I failed. Now, why is that important? Because if you fail, it says, I didn't roll a moon or a star. Oh, hold on. Gain +2 if you have at least 2 traits. I have 4 traits, 4 different traits. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 traits. That's +2, which is 3 + 2 is 5. And if I use this versus the adversary, that knocks it up to 7, which is 6 and then 1 extra. This game, you got to pay attention. There's all these tricks for how you can manipulate the numbers, and I'm glad I remembered to read that. So the adversary is down to 1 XP. I did burn this card, so it goes away to the discard. But it was worth that 1 point, to defeat. So now the adversary flips over to the final adversary, the Dark Lord. And it plays just like the adversary. I have to defeat, on my first time I go and attack it or him, I have to get all the XP off. His number is an 8. So to get this off, I need to roll an 8. But if there's 2 on here, I need to roll a 9. If there's 3 on there, I need to roll a 10. So I need to be looking at buffing up my fight attempts and choose a hero. So this teamwork card is useless. If it is another, so none of those symbols are going to help me. All right, let's do this. I have 2 XP left, and it is now... oh, by the way, sorry. When any hero fails a non-adversary challenge, that was an adversary challenge. You would normally put an XP on it, but I do not. It says non-adversary. And play a card from there. Okay, that's right. All right, let's go. We're almost there. We're doing so well. I need 3 cards. Okay, so now I flip over this, and this. I automatically get 7 points just because I've reached that point. At the end of the game, you lose 1. All right, so now I need to start doing challenges or traits. All of these are challenges except this one. This one gives me a mountain symbol, which is another rune I can use to attack. I will take this one, and it says when you gain this, if you have at least 3 different story icons, 1, 2, 3, I will. When you gain this, if you gain 2 XP. All right. Remember, the story icons are these little symbols. There's 6 different variations. This one looks like a scroll. This is a star. This is it looks like a balance, a weight scale. So I get 2 XP, which is going to come in handy because I'm probably going to reach for those dark runes soon. I get to replace this. Now remember, I just did a trait, not a challenge, so I don't have to roll for anything. Now it's my second turn. Do I have anything that's going to help me? No. No. Yes. If I get this star, I'll have 2 of them. That will give me a bonus 2 points for my end score. But this one has a mountain, which will allow me to roll another rune. I'm going to do Bring Unity. It has a success number of 7. And it uses mountains and wands, which unfortunately I don't have. So I can't attempt that one. Darn it. So this one says, when you gain this, if you have played at least 2 good cards this game, gain 2 XP. I haven't. I've only played 1. I could play this one, and that would count. But it's not going to give me anything beneficial. It gives me a sword and a wand, and those aren't helpful here. But it does give me XP, but I've got enough XP to buy all 3 of the dark runes. But it says you may return a good card you have played to your hand, which means I would get this one, which gives me +1 to attempt a diamond or +2 to face the adversary. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this. When you gain it, I'm going to play this. You can play it at any time. When I play that, I've played 2 cards, 2 hero cards, gain 2 XP. I don't care about that. You may return, and this goes up here. You may return a card to your hand. I'm going to take this one back because it's going to give me that +2 versus the adversary. Let's replace it. Now, I just did a trait again, not a challenge. And now I have all challenges. So, no more traits to pick. It's my turn. I didn't roll, so the Dark Lord is just sitting there waiting on me. This does give me the mountain, but again, it takes the mountain and this to do. This one I also can't get. This one I don't need, although it does give me points. Let's do the easiest one, which would be 6. That's this, or this. All right, which one is going to be the one I can do? I can't. I have nothing. I can't do a challenge, so I'm going to have to replace one. None of these I can do because I do have this one, but I only have 3, and it's a 6. I don't like those odds. But I get to draw a dark card, which I can't play, so that one's kind of... Let me pay an XP. I'm going to journey, which means I can take one away. I'm going to take this one, which is useless, and I'll replace it. And that's... Oh, now this... I got 2 of this rook of the scroll symbol. That would give me points. And unfortunately... Oh, this stinks. Unfortunately, none of these symbols... I have 1. I have 1 of those. And I get to roll it with the 3 basics. And I need a 7. I'm going to fail this one, I have a feeling. Okay, let me see how I'm going to do this. Okay. Jim, how are you going to do this? Maybe I don't. Maybe I just do swords. There we go. swords. This is a 6 also. All right, I'll do the find an artifact. It is a 6 difficulty. I get the 3 core, and I get swords. I got 2 of those, and I don't have the wand. So I'm rolling 5 to get 6. I think I'm going to need to do a dark rune. So I'm going to pay an XP, and I'm finally going to roll a dark rune. One, 2, 3. This counts as 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did do it, 7. This drops 1, so I just lost 4 points. But I do get 2 points for the matching symbol. So I did a net 2 loss. And I get another sword, which isn't going to matter because that is the 3rd and final card underneath my deck. So it is now time to go and attack the adversary. All right. Oh, by the way, okay. So since I rolled a moon, this says when a hero gains a moon, add an XP. So this one goes here. And I didn't roll the funny symbol, so I don't have to do that. When any hero fails a challenge. Did I fail it? I didn't fail it. So, all right, this is it. I can only play white cards. And I've only got really one that's going to help. It's the +2. So here's how we're going to play it. I get the 3 core. I get all of these. I get mountains, which I do have one. I do have one. One mountain. I get no swords. Those go away. And now, all right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runes. I'm going to get to do +2, which that's helpful. But I need to roll 10 or higher. The only way I can do this, I'm going to buy 2 of these and add them in here because the chance is I might get +2 successes and +2, but if I don't, I still get at least 2 successes. And it's not going to drop me down where I don't get any points for the corruption track. And the corruption track will, if I roll 2 moons, I'll be able to play all of these cards, which may come in handy. All right, so let's roll it. Now remember, I need to roll an 8 to remove 1, so now I need to roll a 9. A 9 to defeat the Dark Lord. That was a blank. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I get to draw a card. 9, 10. All right, I did it. I beat the 8 by 2, so these both go away, and the adversary is done. He didn't. I did roll this symbol, but the adversary is dead. However, you do need to see if it would have affected the game. Play a card from the adversary deck. Reveal this as a hero attempts a challenge. Add a dark room to the attempt. I will go ahead and cancel that because remember this was a challenge, so I would have had to add a dark rune, which really wouldn't matter. So it doesn't really matter. I'll cancel. I'll just deduct 1 point because I don't know that for sure. But I'm pretty sure since I killed him, this is a challenge. I would have had to roll an additional 1, and let's see what it would have done. Okay, it would have lowered this by 2. So maybe I cancel it. I'll cancel it, and I'll lose 1 point versus 2 points. So there we go. All right, so that is gone. Oops. That card is gone. And let me see. The Selfless Act. Gain a star or give to another hero. I could play that and get 4 points. I don't know. Since the game is over, I don't know if I can play any more cards. Although the rules say you can play the cards at any time. So I think I could play the Selfless Act to gain the star. And that gives me more points. These are darks. And there you go. That is the game. Call to Adventure Epic Origins. That was interesting. I think one of the strategies I remember about this game is you really want to try and do as much damage to that first adversary so that the adversary has less XP on his card, because if he'd have had like 5 on there, I would have had to roll what, 8? I would have had to roll, I can't do the math, 8 plus 4, 12. I would have had to roll 12 successes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I added that card for 12. So I still could have done it with that +2, but still, you can see that if you don't get that XP whittled down, you're in trouble. All right, I did forget to read the little flavor card, The Darkness Falls. A plague of darkness sweeps across the land, controlled by the tyrannical Dark Lord, with the power to corrupt all but the most pure-hearted. You have come of age in the Dark Lord's empire. Oracles warn that this reign of darkness is just beginning, blah, blah, blah. So the time has come. Go forth, heed the call to adventure, and claim your destiny. So the objective, confront the Dark Lord, which I did. The setup was shuffle the Villager into the Origins deck, which I did. Shuffle the Dark Lord's Call into this deck, which I did. Whether you succeed or fail, open the next envelope. If you fail to defeat the Dark Lord, confront him once more in a future play session. But for now, the legendary beast cannot be ignored. Next chapter, Beast of Legend. So now I know what I'm going to be playing next. And that is, all of this goes back in this envelope. And for my next game, which I hope you want to see, I will be playing Chapter 2, the Chapter 2 card. All right, that's all I got. This is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. I hope you enjoyed this. I just think it's a really neat game. First time I saw it played, I think it was at Gen Con, I just was totally blown away at the storytelling aspect of it. I thought it was just too cool. And I actually have the original version, and I have played that. I need to get that out and play it again. But that one had some weird mechanics to it that a lot of the feedback was what improved in this particular Epic Origins game. If I were you and you were liking this game, I would almost suggest to you that you avoid the, well, not avoid it. It's still a good game. I just think that the first game had some weaknesses that they addressed again in this game. So totally up to you how you want to do that, but just food for thought. All right, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me as I played Call to Adventure. Let me know if you have any questions. You can put them in the comments below, and I'll be back soon with Chapter 2. Until then, everybody, take care.